upset are you?
Well, look, for me, from what I've seen, I've only seen the replay once. Turn 1 I could live with.
Have another look. I think we can queue it up.
Turn 2 was hard, racing between two hard races. The bit that for me felt a bit over the top was turn 3, but you can see it's all getting a bit close and comfortable there. That is okay so far, and I think actually there's a contact there. You see, George is trying to leave him enough space, but it's a very tight corner. That's where I think the damage to the side pod was done.
Yeah.
For me, it was what happened at the next corner that I think George just runs him too far into the wall there. So, yeah, unfortunately, the result of it was we ended up with quite a lot of damage, bodywork damage, a big hole in the side pod, and that cost him quite a bit of performance.
Yeah, that's your reaction there. How much was that costing you? I mean, obviously you couldn't challenge Charles, and we saw how easily Sergio went past him.
I mean, difficult to quantify, but it's got to be, when you see a hole like that in the bodywork, it's got to be, I don't know, 3/4 of a second a lap at least, maybe more. And then there's other complications. Your temperatures start because going out of control because the air's not running through the side pods as it's designed to.
No, there was a lot going on there.
Okay.
I was attempting... Fernando Alonso and the FIA president, both of them. I was attempting to interview Max right after he got out the car. Obviously, it's a heated moment for drivers as soon as they take their helmets off. But it was quite tough to get some answers out of him. We know he's come into this weekend absolutely anti this sprint format. Do you think there's any way he's going to, consider it a good idea at any point?
Well, I think the great thing is he's got another chance tomorrow, and he starts on the front row tomorrow. I think he, understandably was annoyed with that. I think he voiced his opinion to George. It was probably a good idea he left his crash helmet on. But you can understand that he's a competitive, driver, and when you get damage to your car and it affects your race, you're not going to be. I'd be disappointed if he was happy with that.
Of course.
Christian, should George be concerned for some time in the future? Because Max is someone who doesn't forget very easily. We've seen it with Sergio. He tends to...
No, he's like an elephant. He'll remember that. He'll bank that for a while. So... So yeah, and he did a great job at the restart. He managed to pass George at the restart, and then I think was able to hang on to Charles, but the tyres would then overheat, and with the damage that he had, with the balance shift that it created, we could hear from Milton Keynes the balance shift that it was creating in the car. It was obviously a pretty big handicap for him to manage.
Okay, can we pay tribute though to Checo, because he absolutely, I mean, he didn't put a foot wrong there, and he's just so light on his tyres.
Oh, it was a brilliant race from Checo. So he was sensible on the first lap. He wanted to be there in that first DRS zone because, again, I think he wanted to get the job done quickly so then he could focus on managing the tyre, and he made that happen. He had a blinding middle sector on that second lap. Used the shortened DRS, made the pass into turn 1, and then was able to eke out a gap. Charles was hanging in there using the benefit of the DRS, and then once he broke it, then that he was able to manage the race comfortably from there.
It was another conversion of a non-pole to a race win for you guys here, so that's looking positive for tomorrow. But how much did you guys learn from that session? We didn't have much long form running this weekend. Was there anything?
But that was like a long run in P3. It gives you a lot of data now on that tyre. We get to see our competitors' deg. We can see the Ferrari was struggling more in the second half of the stint. We get a lot of information to take out of that race and analyse tonight and try to apply in our strategy tomorrow.
Yeah, but you're in a very good position. You've got two very strong cars with very strong straight line speed up against that one Ferrari. On the evidence of what Sergio did today with a healthy car, if you've got two healthy, it's advantage you tomorrow, isn't it, surely?
Well, it's encouraging going into tomorrow's race, but there's so many things that can go wrong here at a street circuit. And then, of course, there's the race between the two drivers themselves, and they're both pretty fired up going into tomorrow's race.
All right, Christian, thanks very much. Let you go and debrief that and see if Max